Picture yourself running. Not a leisurely jog, but a breathless sprint on a treadmill that never stops. Your heart pounds, your legs ache, and the finish line keeps moving farther away. That's what chasing wealth feels like sometimes, doesn't it? We pour our energy into bigger houses, fancier cars, or that next promotion, thinking it'll fill us up. But what if the real treasure isn't out there? What if it's been inside you all along? There's a story of someone who worked endless hours, missing birthdays and bedtime stories, only to realize their bank account grew, but their home felt empty. When did you last feel that pull, that nagging sense that something's missing, no matter how much you achieve? Now, imagine standing in front of a mirror, not the one in your bathroom, but one that shows more than your face. It shows your heart. What do you see? Society tells us to polish the outside, the job title, the wardrobe, the social status. But true wealth, it starts deeper. There's a parable in the Bible about a treasure hidden in a field, worth selling everything to find. It's not gold or jewels, it's something only the heart can hold. Maybe it's the peace of a quiet moment or the warmth of a loved one's laughter. What do you see when you look beyond the surface? I'm curious, what's stirring in your heart right now? Share your thoughts with me. Sometimes it hits like a whisper in the dark. You're climbing the ladder, maybe even reaching the top, and then it comes that hollow feeling. I heard about someone who landed their dream job, complete with a corner, office, and a hefty raise. But at night, alone, they felt poorer than ever. Something was missing. Have you ever had that moment? When the applause fades and you're left wondering, is this it? That spark, that unease, is your heart nudging you towards something real. It's not about abandoning ambition, but about asking, what are you really chasing? When did you last feel that spark? Let's talk about the weight we carry. Not physical weight, but the heavy stones of expectation piled on by society, by family, by ourselves. Each stone says, you need more, be more, have more. It's like hauling a sack of rocks up a mountain. There's a verse in Matthew that says, come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. Imagine setting those stones down just for a moment. What would that feel like? I'm so grateful you're here, walking this path with me. Trust me, the best is yet to come, and it's going to light up your soul. There's power in stillness, isn't there? In a world screaming for your attention, silence feels like a rebellion. I heard about someone who went on a retreat, leaving behind their phone, their emails, their to-do list. In the quiet, they found clarity, not answers, but questions that mattered. What if you took 5 minutes today just to sit and listen to your heart? Not your worries, not your plans, but that quiet voice inside. What might it say about what truly makes you rich? Think of gratitude like a seed. Plant it, water it, and it grows into something that changes everything. There was someone who hit rock bottom, lost their job, their savings. But they started writing down 3 things each day they were thankful for. A warm meal, a friend's call, a sunset. Slowly, their world shifted. They didn't have more money, but they felt richer. What if you tried that today? Just one thing you're grateful for. What would it be? Remember being a kid, chasing fireflies, or laughing until your sides hurt? Life was simpler then, wasn't it? The Bible talks about having faith like a child open, unburdened, full of wonder. When did you last feel that kind of joy? Maybe it's time to dig up those forgotten treasures. A hobby you loved, a place that felt like home. What would it look like to chase that kind of wealth again? Relationships can break under the weight of ambition. Picture a bridge, once strong, now crumbling because no one tended to it. I know someone who rebuilt a bond with their estranged sibling. It started with a single call, an apology, a shared memory. That bridge became their greatest treasure. What bridge in your life needs mending? What would it take to start? Pride can be a heavy chain, locking us away from true wealth. There's a story in the Bible about a son who left home, squandered everything, and came back humbled. His father welcomed him with open arms. Humility opened the door to love, to belonging. Where might pride be holding you back? Could you let it go? Just a little to find something richer? Imagine you're lost in a dark forest, the path unclear, fear creeping in. Then, a small light flickers a lantern in your hand. That's hope. I heard about someone who lost everything in a market crash. Instead of chasing money again, they poured their energy into mentoring others. That purpose became their light. What's your lantern? What keeps you moving forward when the way feels dark? Generosity is like a river. When it flows freely, it nourishes everything in its path. I heard about someone who started volunteering at a local shelter, not because they had extra time, but because they felt a tug to give. They expected to help others, but found their own heart filled in ways money never could. What would happen if you let a little of your time, your care, flow out to someone else today? Just one small act, what might it spark? Fear can feel like chains, can't it? Heavy, cold, holding you back from the life you want. We're afraid of losing what we have, or not getting what we think we need. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Do not fear, for I am with you." Imagine breaking those chains, stepping forward with courage. Someone I know faced that fear, letting go of a job that drained them to pursue a dream. The freedom they found was worth more than any paycheck. What's one fear you could face today? Patience is like tending a garden. You plant a seed, water it, wait, and trust it will grow. I heard about someone who waited years to see their dream come true. A small business that started in their garage. The waiting taught them resilience, faith, and joy in the small steps. What are you cultivating in your life right now? What might grow if you give it time? Success can feel like an empty house. You walk through the room's nice furniture, shiny awards, but something's missing. Someone I know reached the top of their career, only to find loneliness waiting. They started volunteering, not for recognition, but to connect. That purpose filled the house with warmth. What's missing in your house? What could make it a home? Honesty is a key that unlocks the heart. It's not always easy to turn. I heard about someone who admitted their struggles to a friend, failures they hid for years. That moment of truth set them free, like opening a locked door. What truth are you holding back from yourself? What would happen if you faced it gently today? Passion is like a fire that needs kindling. Life can bury it under routine, but it never goes out completely. Someone I know rediscovered their love for painting after decades, picking up a brush they hadn't touched since youth. Each stroke brought joy money couldn't buy. What's a passion you've let fade? Could you add just one spark to it this week? Vulnerability is like opening a door to a stranger. It's risky, but it's how connection happens. I heard about someone who shared their deepest fears with a trusted friend. Instead of judgment, they found understanding and a bond that became their greatest treasure. What would it feel like to open that door, just a little, to someone you trust? The past can be a heavy backpack filled with regrets and what-ifs. Carrying it slows you down. There's a verse in Lamentations about new mercies every morning. Imagine setting that backpack down, letting the weight go. Someone I know did this, forgiving themselves for a mistake that haunted them. The relief was like breathing again. What's in your backpack? Could you set one thing down today? Forgiveness is a dance, graceful and freeing, but it takes courage to step onto the floor. I heard about someone who forgave a betrayal that cut deep. It wasn't easy, but each step of letting go healed their heart. The Bible talks about forgiving 70 times 7 endlessly. Who in your life needs your forgiveness? What would that first step feel like? Faith is like a horizon, always there, guiding you forward even when the path is unclear. Someone I know faced a serious illness, yet their belief in something greater gave them strength to keep going. They found peace not in answers, but in trust. There's a verse that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart." What's your horizon? What keeps you moving toward it, even on the hardest days? Purpose is like building a house, brick by brick, with intention and care. It gives you a place to call home, no matter where life takes you. I heard about someone who left a high-paying job to teach, not for the money, but because it lit up their soul. Each lesson they taught built a life of meaning. What's the foundation of your house? What purpose are you building toward today? Kindness leaves an echo, rippling out and coming back in ways you never expect. Someone I know helped a stranger change a tire on a rainy night. Weeks later, that stranger returned the favor in a moment of need. It's like the Bible says, "Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you." What small act of kindness could you send out into the world today? Truth is like a mirror, showing you not just who you are, but who you could be. It's not always easy to look. I heard about someone who faced a hard truth about their anger, admitting it to themselves and seeking help. That honesty polished their heart, letting light in. What truth is your mirror showing you? Are you ready to look closer? Comparison is a shadow that dims your light. It creeps in when you scroll through others' lives or hear their success stories. Someone I know stopped measuring their worth against others' highlight reels and found peace in their own path. Their joy became their wealth. What if you let go of comparison just for today? What light might shine through? Hope is a flame that flickers but never dies, even in the darkest times. There's a story of someone who battled depression, clinging to small moments, a kind word, a sunrise that kept them going. The Bible speaks of hope as an anchor for the soul. What's your flame of hope? What keeps it burning when life feels heavy? Simplicity is a path that leads to clarity. I heard about someone who gave away half their possessions, not out of sacrifice, but to free themselves from clutter. They found joy in less, in moments instead of things. What if you simplified one part of your life, a drawer, a schedule, a worry? What freedom might you find? Community is like a warm embrace, holding you up when you're weary. Someone I know joined a small group at their church, hesitant at first, but found a family in shared stories and support. The Bible talks about bearing one another's burdens. Who's in your circle? Could you lean into community a little more today? Change is like a wind, unsettling, but carrying you to new places. I heard about someone who moved across the country, leaving comfort behind for a fresh start. The uncertainty was scary, but it opened doors they never imagined. What change is blowing through your life? Could you let it carry you somewhere new? Gratitude is a lens that transforms how you see the world. Someone I know started a journal, writing down one thing each day that brought them joy, a child's laugh, a warm coffee, a quiet evening. Over time, their heart felt richer than any bank account. What's one thing you're grateful for today? Could you write it down and see what shifts? Faith is an anchor, steadying you through life's storms. I heard about someone who lost a loved one and leaned on their belief to find peace. It wasn't about answers, but about trust in something bigger. There's a verse in Psalms about God being a refuge. What's your anchor? What keeps you steady when the waves crash? Peace is like a house you build, not with bricks, but with moments of stillness and trust. I heard about someone who found serenity through daily prayer, carving out time to breathe and reflect. That quiet became their sanctuary, richer than any mansion. What could you do today to build a corner of peace in your life? Kindness is an echo that resonates far beyond the moment. Someone I know organized a small fundraiser for a struggling neighbor. The act wasn't grand, but it sparked a wave of care in their community. The Bible talks about sowing seeds of kindness. What echo could your kindness create today? What small gesture could start it? Regret is a weight, like carrying stones from years gone by. Someone I know let go of a decades-old mistake by asking for forgiveness. The relief was like dropping a heavy load, leaving room for joy. There's a verse about being made new. What regret could you release to lighten your heart today? Faith is a light that shines even in the darkest moments. I heard about someone who faced a serious illness, leaning on their belief to find strength. It wasn't about escaping pain, but finding meaning through it. The Bible says faith can move mountains. What's your light? How could it guide you through a challenge? Simplicity is a path to freedom, stripping away what clouds your heart. Someone I know downsized their life, moving to a smaller home to focus on family and faith. They found wealth in less. What could you let go of a habit, a possession to? Walk lighter on your path? Forgiveness is an embrace, healing both the giver and receiver. I heard about someone who forgave a longtime rival, not for them, but for their own peace. That act freed their heart like nothing else could. The Bible calls us to forgive as we've been forgiven. Who could you embrace with forgiveness today? Transformation is a wind, reshaping you as it blows through your life. Someone I know emerged from a personal crisis by choosing to rebuild not their bank account, but their purpose. That change became their greatest treasure. What transformation is stirring in you? Could you lean into it today? Truth is a reflection that sets you free when you dare to see it. Someone I know faced their own flaws, admitting they'd chased status over substance. That honesty reshaped their life, filling it with meaning. The Bible says the truth will set you free. What truth could you face to find freedom? Gratitude is a flame, warming your heart and lighting your way. Someone I know started thanking God for small things, a meal, a friend, a moment of calm. That practice turned their struggles into blessings. What flame of gratitude could you kindle today? Could you name 3 things that warm your heart? True wealth is a treasure hidden in your heart, love, purpose, peace. It's not in your wallet or your status, but in the moments you choose connection over competition, forgiveness over resentment, hope over fear. The Bible speaks of a treasure in heaven that never fades. What's your treasure? I challenge you to write a letter to yourself, listing what makes your heart rich. Seal it, keep it, and read it when you need a reminder. What will you write? Your heart is like a map, guiding you when you listen closely. I heard about someone who followed a quiet instinct to take a new path, leaving a comfortable job for one that felt right. That choice led to a life of purpose they never expected. What's your heart whispering to you today? Could you trust it enough to take one step? Honesty shines like a light, cutting through the fog of pretense. Someone I know admitted a mistake at work, expecting criticism, but found respect instead. That truth built trust, a treasure worth more than any title. The Bible says the truth sets us free. What truth could light your way if you spoke it now? Generosity flows like a river, refreshing everyone it touches. I heard about someone who spent their weekends at a community kitchen, serving meals. They didn't have much, but giving filled their heart in ways money never could. What's one way you could let generosity flow today? What might it bring? Act to you? Control is a heavy burden, like gripping the reins of a runaway horse. Someone I know learned to let go after years of trying to fix everything: family, work, life. Surrendering brought peace they hadn't known. There's a verse about casting your cares on God. What could you release today to feel lighter? Patience is a seed, small but powerful, growing into something lasting. I heard about someone who waited years for a dream to bloom a book they wrote, rejected at first, but published in time. The waiting shaped their character, their heart. What seed of patience are you planting? What might it grow into? Your soul is a mirror, reflecting the wealth you carry inside. Someone I know found peace through daily meditation, sitting quietly to hear their inner voice. It wasn't about money or status, but about knowing themselves deeply. What does your soul's mirror show you? Could you pause to look today? Reconciliation is a bridge, mending what time and hurt have broken. I heard about someone who reached out to an old friend after years of silence. A single conversation rebuilt trust, richer than any possession. What bridge could you start repairing? What would that first step feel like? Courage is a fire, sparking action, even when fear whispers to stop. Someone I know faced a lifelong fear of public speaking to share their story. That bravery opened doors to connection and purpose. The Bible says to be strong and courageous. What fire of courage could you kindle today? Gratitude is a key, unlocking doors to joy you didn't know were there. I heard about someone who transformed their outlook by thanking people daily, a coworker, a neighbor, a stranger. Each thank you built a richer life. What's one door gratitude could open for you? Could you thank someone today? Hope is a horizon, always ahead, pulling you through the darkest nights. Someone I know faced a crisis, jobless and lost, but held onto hope through small acts, prayer, a kind word, a new plan. That hope led to a new beginning. There's a verse about hope rising like wings. What's your horizon? What keeps you reaching for it?